Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
good. How are you?
Doing well. Just getting my lighting together right now because it's a little dim in here right now.
Take your
But
time.
I'm good. How are you today?
I am great. Sun is shining here in Vancouver after a week of rain.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. Okay, there we go. We got this. Yeah, I love the
Whereabouts are
rain.
you in the West Coast?
Yeah, yeah. So it's always sunny. It's rare that we get rain, so I can't wait till it starts to rain over here. Alrighty. And up on me. So trying to get that right. Alrighty. So we are good. Sorry about that. I haven't used this thing in
Oh, good.
forever. All right.
So glad to have you on here, Dorian.
Thank
Um,
you.
if you want to start with an introduction, a little bit about yourself, your journey, how you came to um, all about personal development.
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in an environment where personal development or just growth in general wasn't fancy. Nobody talked about it. It was just more living day to day. You were just like, okay, I need to survive. I need to get through the day. I need to make money or whatever the case may be. But I knew that I wanted to be different because my environment, it wasn't the best. I grew up around gangs, drugs, violence, all those types of things. So I felt like it was my obligation to myself to be different. And along my journey as a teenager, a young adult, I tried different things and I discovered a lot of different things that allowed me to open my mind and to be more I wouldn't say optimistic, but more observant of the world and seeing that there was a different world outside of where I grew up. So I started trying different things, and the next thing you know, I just started trying different businesses, and it opened my mind even more, and it allowed me to add on to my person, add on to myself to become much better. That's it in a nutshell. So
I love everything you touched on. As you know, I practice yoga and meditation. And it's so funny to me when I hear people talking about their own journeys in a completely different light and a completely different environment, but still always coming back to the same topics. Like a few things that I just jotted down here. You mentioned observing and changing your perspective, changing your surroundings,
yeah.
vibrating at a higher frequency than your surroundings,
Hmm.
essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
right? And so do you take yourself to be a spiritual person?
Yes, I have come to become more spiritual in the past, I say 3 or 4 years. Why
Um,
is trying to figure out why this thing keeps dimming. It keeps, I don't know why. Do you know why it keeps doing that? Like my
you
screen
look
keeps dimming.
you look fine on my screen. Nothing's
Yeah,
dimming.
okay. But yeah, spiritual part of it, it came along maybe in the last 3 or 4 years as I started to learn more about myself and start to get closer to me and start to learn more about how I feel and how I wanted to feel. And I became more aware.
Yeah, becoming aware is that's the key.
Mhm.
Do you meditate on a daily basis? Do you have a meditation practice?
I do. I usually meditate in the morning and I do it sometimes at night to help me sleep a little bit, but I don't always do it. I won't say that I'm consistent every single day, but I do get it in there maybe I'll say at least 3, 4 times a week minimum. I'm usually meditating twice a day. And sometimes I do a midday meditation as well. Like last week, I was just having a hard day. I was frustrated. I like, you know what, let me just recenter, relax, and just breathe, just be one with the moment.
I love that. So, what does your meditation practice look like outside of, centering yourself? How do you ground yourself in that center?
I allow myself to just feel like to just breathe, to just let go of the thoughts in my mind, or just to let my mind just run free, let it do its thing, but also learn how to block everything else out, block the outside noise, and feel like, okay, now you're here. Focus on the current moment. Focus on the right now. Don't think about all the things that are frustrating you. Just let those things go. I also have my healing rocks. I have chakra stones. So I have those with me. I have a meditation mat. I have a meditation pillow. I don't know the proper name for it, but it's like got beads and stuff in it. You sit on it. So I have my whole little setup.
That's awesome. I love how you explain that in different words, but I think the meditation is really essentially just tuning out the outside world and coming back inside, like you said, to your center, to your breath, and letting go of all the external influences we have in our daily lives, like work and family and responsibilities, all the things we
Hmm.
need to do, all the places we need to be, and just finally have a chance to just come back inside and just breathe and just be sitting or standing or I always say too, like meditation's not an on-off switch. So you can take your
Hmm.
meditation practice after you finish the sitting meditation, as you stand and you start to go through life and through the things that you need to do, you can still stay in that meditative state, in that meditative energy of grounded and centeredness.
Right, right. And another thing that I did, I learned how to sit there and block out, literally block out noise. So I can be in a busy city and then I could just block it out and just feel like by myself.
Yes. I read a quote years ago, so I don't remember word for word, but it was essentially along the lines of anybody can sit in a room, in a quiet room, and meditate. Well, not anybody, but it's easier to do that than it is to go into a city in a crowd surrounded by people and different energies and still have that meditative state.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I also like to meditate, like sit and relax in the bathtub with some like, nice Epsom salts and things like that, and just let my body relax and just let my mind relax, cover my eyes, and the warm water fills me and I just zone out.
So you mentioned chakras. How did you come to learn about your energy centers? Was it internally or was it externally? Did you learn about this?
I learned about it externally. I'm still learning about it as well. I don't know a lot about it. I just know that it is good that they are healing, and I do believe that. So I'm still learning how to use them effectively to the best of their capabilities.
Yeah. So interesting enough, I actually found the energy centers within myself before I
Mhm.
even knew what a chakra was, or before
Yeah.
I knew that I had these energy centers within me. I was starting to feel that energy just, as I was starting to practice yoga and move my body and be more conscious. So I always recommend to anybody on this journey that's starting to get in touch with themselves on that deeper level to really just let go of the external for a minute and just tune into the wisdom you have within you.
Right.
So,
Because you have all the answers already.
yes, yes. And they're your energy centers, right? I can't sit here and teach you about your body and your energy centers. Only your body and your energy can make you aware of what's happening inside.
Right. Exactly.
James is asking, how important is a discipline in having growth mindset?
Well, you need to be disciplined. Well, the importance of discipline is you knowing yourself, you being disciplined enough to know when you aren't being your best self, when you can improve, what you can and can't handle. Because if you don't do that, then you're always gonna go down that rabbit hole of when you're feeling bad, when you feel like you have a bad day. Next thing you know, it just takes you everywhere else. It takes your mind elsewhere, as opposed to you knowing that you are in control of the situation. And that's one of the things that really helps with having the growth mindset, or the discipline part of it. Because if you don't have that discipline, then you'll go wherever the wind sends you. You'll look this way and you're like, oh man, this is frustrating me. Then your energy's going over there. Next thing you know, you're going over here, and you're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on your goals, on your best potential, on your best self. You're not being the best version of yourself at that moment.
I totally agree. Do you think there's another aspect to that? Like when you said when the wind blows and you go into a different direction, do you think there's an aspect of being too disciplined when life kind of is trying to move you into a new direction? and then you're unable to flow through it. So there's like a fine balance, I'm trying to say, between
Mhm.
having the discipline to stick to your goals and knowing when to change.
Yeah, that's where that the awareness comes in. You being aware of yourself, you being aware of your path, you being aware of what's taken away from you and where you need to be at the current moment. And that goes with, like we were talking about meditation, you just being in that current moment. So you allowing yourself to know where you need to be and then know that you're not there right now. You know, if you're like, if I'm sitting on my computer, next thing you know, my mind is rambling somewhere else. And then I start to get into those emotions, all those thoughts and things, even if they're negative, even if they're positive, whatever it is, I'm not focusing on what's the task at hand. So just zoning yourself back in, that awareness is key.
Yeah, that's really powerful that you say how you say that, to zone yourself back in, because our mind wanders so much. And especially when somebody is starting out on a spiritual journey and starting meditation practice, that's when your mind wanders the most. When you're trying to be
Right.
still for the first time and you're trying to meditate for the first time, your mind
Yeah.
is going to go 1,000 thoughts a minute. Like, and so do you have any advice, like on your own journey? Did that happen to you at all?
Yeah, it still happens now. It still happens now, but I know how to reel it back in. And then I know that it's not a problem when they do just venture off. Sometimes you just let it venture off, and then you continue to zone to practice bringing yourself back into you, if that makes sense, if I'm saying it right. You understand that, okay, my mind is going to do its thing. My mind is going to think all these thoughts, and that's natural. But also knowing how to control those thoughts and suppress those thoughts so that they aren't getting too far away from you.
Yes. I would like to add on to what you were just saying. So when your mind is wandering, it's because we are scared or we are afraid of letting go. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially, when we're meditating, our goal is to let go of all the external things in life. So whether it's work, it's family, it's responsibilities, all things that you need to do, what we're trying to do is kind of just take a moment for ourselves and to let go of all the external, detach ourselves from all of that. So when we start to do that, our mind starts to fear that if we let go, we're going to forget all of the things that we need to do and all the places we need to be and all this stuff, and it's holding on. So naturally our energy and our mind wants to hold on tight so that we don't lose our lessons and we don't lose our memories and we don't lose all of this stuff. So I always say, like in my own meditation practices and when I'm teaching my classes, I say just allow your mind, give your mind permission to let go for the moment, not
Mm-hmm.
forever,
Right.
just for the hour, just for 5 minutes, just for 10 minutes, just for this breath, even. See if you can just let go just for this breath and then come back to life as it is.
Right, right. And then that goes with life in general. That goes with even people around you. Sometimes you have to let certain people go, or not saying that you're letting them go altogether, but you have to separate from those people in order for you to continue to grow on your journey. And you have sometimes have to show them the way, because every time you're going to try to tell someone something, they're not going to understand it. So it's the same, basically same concept.
Yes, everyone has their own journey and their own level to their journey. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone has different lessons and challenges they need to face for their own unique personal journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to know how, when you are working with your clients and helping them develop and evolve and work through their personal challenges, what does that kind of look like for you?
Well, first thing we want to do is have them acknowledge where they are currently. So knowing that you aren't where you want to be and knowing where you'd like to go, and just getting an understanding of where their mind is, getting an understanding of how where they are of themselves. How much do you know about yourself? How much do you know about the path that you want to go on? So we start there. We start with their old beliefs. Like what do you feel is holding you back? So I want to know what things do they have in their mind that they know right now that's holding them back, so that we could just start to unravel that and unravel all those old things that you've been holding deep within, all those self-limiting beliefs.
Do you believe that those self-limiting beliefs and the behaviors we have kind of taken on from childhood and from our early life and adulthood as well, do you believe that we store that energy in the body as well?
Yeah, yeah, we do definitely. It's there unconsciously. It's there with us all the time. It's a part of our being at a point to a certain extent.
So what challenges do you see when your clients are trying to move past this energy?
Them trusting and believing that they can overcome the things that they've been thinking their whole life, all the things they've been thinking, all the things they've been taught. Just that mindset, just that that scarcity mindset, that victim mindset. You have to get rid of it. You have to know that, all right, that's the old me, but how does the new me look? What things am I doing in my life? What things am I trying to achieve right now in this moment? And how can I make that a reality with my current situation instead of focusing on what I didn't do, what I didn't know, or who I was before? Focus on building a new you. You have to start from scratch.
Yeah, that's so powerful. That you're able to kind of help people work through that energy, because it's hard to do it on your own when you're stuck in your own perspective and you only see things from your own mind, right? And then
Right.
when you finally tell someone all this energy, it helps to open your perspective, have somebody else shed some light into what the situation is and expand that. Just like a yoga class where you're expanding the body, yoga extends to life. It's a lifestyle. You're expanding your mind. So this practice that you're doing, helping people evolve their personality, is actually a form of yoga, believe it or not.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's all in the same room. That whole personal development, spirituality, it all goes hand in hand.
It does. And it's funny. I remember when I messaged you first, I think you said something along the lines of, I'm not spiritual, or I don't, that's not my specialty.
Uh huh.
And I was like, I really want to interview him because I'm
Hmm.
sure he's spiritual. He just doesn't
Yeah.
know it yet.
Yeah. It's not one of those things where I'm going around telling people to, you know what, you need to do this. I'm more of the like, look, motivating you, like push you, like, no, you need to keep going. You can't stop right here where you at. Don't allow your struggles to stop you, because they'll all be for nothing. So that's more of my thing. I don't tell people, look, you need to go meditate, even though I do mention those things, but it's not like the thing that I dive deep into.
Yeah, because meditation can look like so many different things for different people, right? So
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean you have to sit down and just, you know, breathe in that typical meditation, right? Like there's
Mhm.
just so many different meditations. You can walk and meditate, you can eat and meditate, you can talk and meditate, you can sleep in meditation, like,
Yeah.
right?
And that's
So
the
that's my goal here with these interviews. Let's talk spirituality, because I want to expand this idea that spirituality, yoga, meditation is like just this one very narrow view that people have. Like
right.
this is what Western society has formed, the idea of meditation and yoga. And my journey here is to evolve that. And so I love talking to people like you and talking to people like that don't have that spiritual, like the spiritual terms down and all that stuff, because what I want to do is go beyond that. I want to know how people are integrating this stuff into their daily lives,
Hmm.
not just reading about it and talking about it, but actually implementing that energy.
Right. And finding new ways to implement it, because like you said, meditation doesn't look one way. And that's what we've been taught. We've been taught you have to sit there, close your eyes, and you always thinking of, oh, like monks, they just sit there and meditate. Like, no, it's not. That's not how it looks. It doesn't look that way for everybody. It's different for every individual.
And even monks, they do sit and meditate, and
Hmm.
that's a very powerful form of meditation. But they take that meditation and they go through life in that meditation as well, right? So it's a whole lifestyle for them. It's not just that moment of them sitting and how they look and, that stereotype. It's so much
Hmm.
more. And so that's my goal here, is to evolve our idea in the spiritual community and create this dialogue. So a lot of my teachings actually come from people around me who are not spiritual or yogis. And I take these things that I learn from other people and I integrate it in myself. So I don't necessarily gravitate to yoga books or yoga materials. I see what's around me and then I try to integrate that. Um, so have you ever kind of learned something that you use today, that you're maybe surprised that you learned from this situation, or you took something positive from a negative situation?
Mm, I'm trying to think. It's a good question. I'm trying to think because it could be so many different things. When you say took from this situation, which situation are you referring to?
Anything really, like
Anything.
anything from your personal life that you can think of that, you know what, because my mind was so open and receptive, I was able to see this in a completely different light. So like maybe in your early journey, you touched on your environment was so different and you wanted to be different. You wanted to do something differently. What do you think sparked that in you? Like for
That
someone, because environment really influences us. And I feel like in society today, the younger generation, they're so influenced by society and everything that's on social media. And so it's hard for people, I feel like, to be different or to
yeah.
want to be different.
Okay. Well, I can say two things. In the early stages, what really helped me was seeing others do different. I wouldn't say seeing other, but seeing other success, seeing other people's success. So for me, I was inspired by hip hop music, and I think I was maybe in high school and I fell in love with exotic cars because I got access to the internet. I'm like, you know what? Let me check this out. This is pretty cool. I started going, just looking at exotic cars, and I was like, you know what? That car looks cool. I never seen one before, and I want one. And then I eventually got old enough to start to drive, and I drove up to the Beverly Hills area and I was able to see those cars, and I eventually drove one as a 19-year-old, and that inspired me, and it told me like, you know what, if you can get to this point where you touching this, it's a part of you. It's like you can, if you can touch it, you can have it. And then also another thing, when I left my job last year, I was really scared. I was doubting myself. I was saying like, man, you're not ready. You need to just go and do it. Okay. And then your mind is telling you like, nah, you need to stay here, be comfortable because you're comfortable with making that money. You're comfortable with that security. And I was like, you know what? You have to trust yourself, flap your wings. So in the beginning of the whole pandemic, when it started to hit the world, next thing you know, I was like, you know what? I quit. Like I'm done. And that was one time I really took a big risk. And I think that was one of the times where it really stuck with me. Like, dang, you can really do it. Like you didn't already took the first step on this journey to improve yourself and to become better. And then it just evolved after that. And I was like, my mission is to change the world, is to change, to help people change themselves and to see their own power that they have within.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I used to teach vision board workshops, and that was a huge part of helping people to manifest the reality is to first understand what and why do you want these things. So the
Mm-hmm.
luxury cars, why, what's the deeper reason behind you wanting this luxury item? And then envisioning it and even going out and test driving, like you mentioned, you realized in that moment that if I can drive this, why can't I have it? It's
Mm-hmm.
already coming to me. That energy is already flowing to me. And it's just a matter of raising your vibration to match the vibration of whatever it is that you're wanting to pull in.
Exactly. That law of attraction, you start to like, you feel it, you start to understand, you start to visualize it. And then I really start to become a true believer in that. I actually have these little things posted all over. I have like maybe 8 of them posted, law of attraction. Only focus, I'm reading one now. Only focus on what you want. Live as if you already have what you're asking for, and beat the conflicting thoughts in your mind and truly feel and believe that you have what you're asking for. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got some post-it notes behind me here too. Those are those are all goals and things that I'm wanting to achieve.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have those reminders.
Yeah, and you need them, right? Your mind needs to see that
Hmm.
to help train the subconscious mind.
Yep.
Um, subconscious mind, if you want to touch on that a little bit, I'm sure that you worked a lot with subconscious when you're helping people, you know, change
Yeah.
their thought patterns around their belief systems and their limiting beliefs.
Yeah, the subconscious mind, of course, we know that that's the part that happens automatically. And that's a part of your habits. And I tell people that if you want to change your habits, you don't want to necessarily change them. You want to replace your habits because your mind is going to automatically go back to what you used to. So if you're trying to force something out, then you're always going to go and seek it again. So you need to replace it and add something in its place. And that happens once you access that part of your subconscious mind, then you understand that everything that you're doing is because it's muscle memory. It's all memory of what you've been used to all this time. So what things do you want to change? So you have to identify those things. You have to be we've said this before, be alert, be conscious of the things that you like to change and intentionally do it. Because if you don't, then you're always going to go on autopilot. It's like going on an airplane. They put that autopilot on and it's going to fly to its destination. No, you have to actively go in there and twist some things around. You have to go in there and switch some things in your head. You have to wake your head up like, you know what? Okay, we're not doing this anymore. This is not working for us. It's not getting us where we want to be. So we need to work on something else. We need to replace it and add something else in its place.
Yeah, and I think that touches also on being flexible
Mm-hmm.
in the mind. So as
Yeah.
a yogi, I work with helping people become flexible in the body, but actually it starts in the mind. How flexible is your mind? How flexible are your thoughts or your belief systems? Are you able to change? Are you able to expand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love how all of this is tying together. Two
Mm-hmm.
completely different topics, but not really. Essentially, it's all the same thing and it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
Um, how do you change or not change, evolve someone's perspective when I feel like in society today, what I'm trying to get at is that there's this need to be right. And when someone feels like they're not right or they're wrong, our ego kind of gets in the way and gets involved. Do you have any like uh, advice or suggestions for people trying to work through their ego?
You need to leave your ego at the door. I think your ego comes from the perception of what you see outside of yourself, and then that's where the ego is built up because you feel like you need to prove something to someone else. You need to look a certain way in the eye of the public is what I'm looking for. I lost my words, but you need to allow yourself to just like do it for you, do it for a bigger reason than yourself. And then that's when the ego goes away because if you're doing it, you're going to try to do things for the wrong people, for the wrong reasons, and you're going to end up drained because you're never going to be able to satisfy anyone. You always need to find the reason for you, the reason for the person in the mirror. Why do you want to do this? You need to find that why, that big reason of why you want to do everything that you do. So even if you get at your lowest point, you're able to pull yourself right out because you look at your why, you look at your reasoning for doing it. Because you're doing it for the views, for the likes, then you're going to be drained. You're going to feel like you're incomplete. You're going to go behind those closed doors and cry. You're going to be frustrated, depressed, and it's going to stress you out altogether. So leave the egos at the door.
Yes. So I just want to touch on the vibration again.
Mm-hmm.
So when your why is a low vibration, like maybe it's likes or, feeding your ego or getting all of these low vibrational rewards, you're naturally going to increase that low vibration within you, right? So you're going to emphasize, you're going to amplify that energy inside of you and resulting in feeling low and feeling not good. Like you did all of this stuff to feel better, but in the end, it didn't work and you actually feel worse. And that's just because we've lowered our vibration instead of increasing our vibration. So
Right.
I always say too, with law of attraction, be careful what you ask for because you can think in your mind that you're wanting all of these things, but actually you're wanting that from a low vibration, from a low state of mind. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really important when you're working with law of attraction that you have your meditation down, that you understand yourself so that you can increase the vibration of what you're wanting and want it from an increased vibration.
Right. Right. Yeah. Nah, trust me, I get it. That's like everything we've been saying this whole time. that vibration, that law of attraction, understanding what you want, understanding the bigger reason than yourself. And why do you want to do this?
Yeah, and then also self-worth. So believing that you are worthy, because in the moment, like I even experienced this with myself. And I can think back to so many times where I have envisioned this life for myself. And then I start to come back into that habitual, I don't deserve this, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worthy of this. And it's
Right.
not a conscious voice, it's a subconscious voice. It's deep, deep, deep within me that's saying, oh, but no, I can't do
Yeah.
that.
It's
No,
that.
that's
Yeah.
not for me. And so, do you have any advice for people that are also going through that?
Yeah, that dealing with that imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't deserve it. Like, why not? Why not you? You go, I tell people, go look in the mirror and say, why not me? All the things you said that you don't deserve, that you're not good enough for. Go ask yourself, why not me? What is it that that person that you see who has it, or whatever inspired you to go after it in the first place, what is it that they have that you don't? They breathe the exact same air as you do. They have the same 24 hours as you do. So why can't you have it as well? Why is it that you feel like you're not qualified for something? That's like someone getting a job, they get a high position. They're like, you know what? I shouldn't have this. No, you're robbing yourself of it. You deserve this. You worked for it. All those things you was asking for, it got you to this point. And that's why you deserve it, because you put the work in, even though you may discredit yourself sometimes because we don't see those huge jumps, but we don't realize all those small things that we're doing every single day, the habits that we have, the people we involve ourselves with, the conversations we have, all of these things are accumulate to get us to where we like to go. So you have to be aware of that, and you have to understand that everything that you have right now, you manifest it for yourself, and you deserve it, whether it's good or
Yes.
bad.
Yes. And I love what you said about taking small steps. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the smallest thing that we do can have the biggest impact if it's done
Yeah.
at the right time. You have to listen to that intuition. And I can look back at a time where I was not at a high place. I was at a very low place in my life. And I had this intuition, this voice saying, just go do that one thing that you've been wanting to do. Just go do it right now. Just
Mm-hmm.
get out the door. I
Yeah.
did it. I ended up meeting one of my very best friends just randomly at this thing that I decided to do at the last minute. And it opened a whole new door for me at that time where I really needed it. So it's so true. Like the universe is working for you and with you to help you and guide you into the direction you're meant to be. You just have to allow yourself to move through that energy.
Yeah, and as you doing the work, the universe is gonna meet you halfway. You don't know how it's gonna get. You don't know how it's gonna work. You don't know how you're gonna get there. You may not even see yourself getting through the next day. But if you trusting, you believing, you really feeling it, then it's gonna meet you there. It's always gonna be something that falls out of the sky. You're like, dang, you know what? I don't know how I got through that. Like, look at you right now. You've been through so many bad days. You've been through so many things. You like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. You don't know. You sick to your stomach. You frustrated, stressed out. But look at you now. You still here, right this moment, and that's because you trusted yourself. You believe that. You know what? This is not the end.
Yeah, and it's so easy for us to sit here and talk about this stuff because we've been through all of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, anybody that's listening and is going through a low vibrational state in their life, it's okay. I just want to remind you that life has its ups and its downs, right? I'm sure, Dorian, you still go through your ups and downs. I still go through my ups and downs. I still deal with anxiety and depression. But I've now created enough times in my life where I have moved through that energy that I can move through it again. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of developing those patterns and continuing to develop those patterns and not being so hard on yourself. You are human. We are all human, and we're here to feel all of these emotions, right?
Right.
And just coming back to yourself to give yourself space and allow yourself to feel what is coming forth. Feel it and move through it.
Right. Yeah. Don't allow your temporary feelings to give you a permanent reaction. Something that's going to affect you in the long term just because of how you feel right now, whether that's a bad decision you make or whether that's something that you think about doing. Don't allow it to penetrate your thoughts.
Yes. Um, Any last thoughts you want to add, Dorian?
I just want to tell people that it's whatever you're dealing with right now. If you're looking at this on the replay, looking at it live, whatever you're dealing with, trust that it's a part of your journey. It's building the character that you need to become the person that you want to be. All the things you've been asking the universe for, all the things you've dreamed about, all the things you've envisioned for yourself, you need to go through these things right now in order for you to achieve that, in order for you to get what you've been asking for. It's a new character, it's a new layer of yourself that needs to be built. And that's the character that's being built right now, this moment. So whatever it is you're going through, I'm with you. I trust you. I want you to trust yourself, believe in yourself, feel that, that you, with everything in you is all you need right now. And you're just going to add on to yourself and become much better. Keep on going after that dream. Keep striving for more. Keep striving to be better, whether it's for yourself or to change the world, your kids, whatever it is for you. Keep grinding. Keep going after it. Don't allow these struggles and these hard times to define you or to stop you in your tracks.
Yes. And I would just like to add to that. There's this quote that I still use today. It's, if everybody in this world dropped all of their problems for a second, everybody dropped all of their problems, and you had the ability to pick up any problem on the ground, right? You have to pick something up. You can pick up anything. You will be looking for your problem, I guarantee. You're going to be searching for that thing that you dropped, because your issues, your problems are there for you, to challenge you to grow and to move, just as you were saying.
Right.
Yes, that's so powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, it was really nice chatting with you. I learned so much, and it was so nice to hear your perspective on everything, and just to see how everything, and confirm that everything is together and aligned and connected.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely. Everything, spirituality, all that mindset, everything is all connected. Just like the universe, everything is connected in some type of way.
Yeah.
So having, like you said, having this conversation, just bringing everything full circle, just is gratifying.
Yes. We will be posting this. So if you guys are watching this after, and you have any questions, shoot them in the comments, and we can try our best to answer them. Thanks again, Dorian.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.